Thank you.
No, we're not happy. This stop approach to travel is bonkers. Portugal has exactly the same COVID case rates and higher vaccination rates when it was taken off the UK's green list last week than it had when it went on it. Malta, which has higher vaccination rates than the UK and only 1/3 the COVID case rates, can't get from the amber list to the green list. The whole thing is a shambles, and it's typical of Boris Johnson's government just making this stuff up as they go along. There is no green list. And what we keep calling for in the travel industry is, now that we have 80% of the adult population of Britain vaccinated, why can't those people go on holidays to Portugal, Spain without restrictions? They're already vaccinated.
Because I suppose the argument would be that they could still contract COVID and give it to someone else.
The percentage of people who are vaccinated contracting COVID is minuscule. The risk to public health is equally minuscule. One of the great things about the success of the UK's vaccine programme is, yes, while there's a rise in case numbers, particularly the Indian variant, the vaccine is effective against the variant. There has been no rise in hospitalisations or serious illnesses or, thankfully, deaths. So we're locking, or Boris Johnson is trying to lock up the British public for no good reason other than they can. There's no public health reason.
OK, reports in the paper this morning suggesting that the Foreign Office had actually advised to keep Portugal on the green list. What do you think was going on there?
And they also recommended adding Malta to it. So, one leg of government doesn't know what the other leg of government is doing. And you've got to keep coming back to the fundamental point. 80% of the UK adult population has received at least one dose of the vaccine. Why can't they travel to Europe and come back? And much more importantly, from a UK economy point of view, and certainly from the London economy, why can't Irish and European visitors who have been vaccinated come to London? It's all very well for Robert Jenrick and George Eustice to say they're going to take their holidays in Cornwall or in Scotland. They're not going to take their staycations in London. The vast swathes of London depends on tourism. It depends on Irish and European visitors coming to London during June, July and August to get those people back to work. And this government has no plan for allowing vaccinated visitors into London. It makes no sense, certainly no public health sense, and it's just more Boris Johnson screwing it up as he goes along.
We saw the front page of the Times this morning, reflecting on our interview with George Eustice yesterday, referring to it as a model. Who knows what's going to happen next? What is the ramification for the airline business if this continues?
I mean, the ramification, I think less so for the airline business, Kate. We're taking lots of bookings from UK passengers in July and into August. Everybody accepts that the restrictions will be gone by the time we get to peak summer. But it's very difficult for us as an industry, and also for the rest of the wider tourism industry, to plan for June, to plan for the first half of July. Do we bring more people back from furlough? Do we re-employ them? Do we schedule the flights? We can't schedule the flights and cancel them within 2 weeks because we have to pay compensation to customers. So it's incredibly difficult. We'll get through this. The airline industry will get through this. But the real challenge here is, how do you get the rest of London and Britain's tourism industry back to work? Because it fundamentally depends on welcoming back European visitors, who by the end of June, 60% of the European adult population will have been vaccinated. And yet the UK is saying, we're closed, don't come here, you've got to quarantine. Why, if you've had the vaccine, do you have to quarantine? And in the UK, why, if you're vaccinated, can you not go on holidays to Malta or Portugal, who have lower COVID case rates than the UK? It makes no sense. It's not just a muddle, it's a complete cock-up.
Where do you think the Prime Minister should go on holiday this year?
I think you should go to Portugal, Spain, Greece or Italy, enjoy the sun on the beach, COVID-free, like many millions of British families will do, certainly through July and August, and he should clearly travel Ryanair.
OK. Do you hold out any hope at all, Michael O'Leary, of popular destinations being added to that green list this summer?
I think, look, it's inevitable, Kate, that Portugal, Spain, Greece and Italy will be added to that list in July and in August. There is simply no medical basis for maintaining these travel restrictions when 80% of your population is vaccinated and when 60% of the European population is vaccinated. The hospitals are empty. Thankfully, the ICUs are empty. It is time to continue the recovery, and we would call on the government to stick to their 21 June date and get on with it. The vaccines are working. The people of England or Britain now deserve their vaccine bonus.
And what would you say to the Prime Minister if he says, I'm very sorry, Mr O'Leary, but your planes will not be carrying British passengers to mainland Europe anytime soon?
I suspect his voters and the population of the UK will ignore him. They will have the medical basis for ignoring him because they'll be vaccinated. And the question I would put to Prime Minister Johnson is, if 80% of your people are vaccinated, why are you not allowing them to go on holidays to Spain and Portugal, where COVID case rates are lower than they are in the UK?